Hi, this is Kim from KimberlyKoehler.com, and today I have a video for you with a little bit of creative inspiration, something you can put together to inspire yourself. So I'm going to share with you some ideas to create an inspiration treasure chest, or it could be an inspiration box or a jar, whatever works. I'm going to give you a few examples, and the reason I'm sharing this is because sometimes you just don't feel inspired. Maybe you're feeling a little blah, and if you have this created already, you can go through it and find something that inspires you kind of back into action again, back into creating. And it can also inspire your jewelry creations. As you know, I am a jewelry making teacher, and so a lot of what I do comes back to jewelry making. So I actually have a class called Jewelry Design Workshop, and I give you lots of prompts and ways to come up with ideas for your jewelry creations. And this could be added kind of to that whole little tool chest of ideas if you like. And if you would like some more prompts and some more detailed information of how I go from inspiration to generating ideas to actually designing jewelry, Jewelry Design Workshop is where you can find all that information. The link will be below this video. So let's get started. I'm going to give you some ideas. Here I have an empty flower pot. It did hold my part of an herb garden I tried to grow, the last thing I tried to grow anyway, and I really am terrible at growing any kind of plant, so everything died, but I thought this was cute, so I kept it. And now I'm actually going to create an inspiration treasure chest from it with all kinds of little tidbits and things that inspire me. And you can really use anything. I'm going to show you a couple other examples here. I just came across this. It's an Altoid tin that I covered with some paper. And I actually have a tutorial for this way back in my blog from years ago. But it's this little tiny tin, so you could actually carry this with you. So whatever you would put in here for your inspiration would have to be tiny, but that's another idea. What I have been using before now is this jar, and it's a lantern jar actually. It has like this cord. I had it hanging because it was easier for me to kind of have a spot for it that way. I could just hang it. And actually, as I'm saying this, I also do have a tutorial for how to make these kind of jars with the, I think it has the beading, on an old blog post as well. So I'll hunt that down for you and share the link in the description below. I took this one and made it into kind of an inspiration treasure chest, but it's more of an inspiration jar instead. So your first step is to find a suitable container. It could just be a box, maybe an old cigar box, or any box you have. If you have just a plain box, you could decorate it up to make it a little more inspiring if you like, or you may have a basket, something like that. Anything that can hold your stuff. And if you create in a small space, and I do create in a small space, it's good to have things that are kind of compact and able to be put together in a kind of a container. So we have the container. So what would you put in here? So my first thought is you should think about anything that's inspiring to you, and that would go in here. So I'm going to give you some ideas, but these ideas may not be all that inspiring to you. So think about different things that are inspiring to you that you would put in your own treasure chest. The first thing I would put in are my inspiration quote cards. In January, I showed you how to make these. I did a whole series on them, how to make them, how to use them. So these are basically just some mixed media index cards. They're doubled up, and they have inspirational quotes on them. It's a whole stack here. I have 21 of them, and so I'm just gonna put that in there. So then something else that I like putting in my inspiration treasure chest, and you maybe noticed on the jar too, are photos. So these are photos of things that I find really inspiring, or places I love, people I love, that sort of thing. So I'm just going to tuck those in. Now, something else that really helps me, and this is helpful too when you're feeling blah, something like that, is smells. So inspiring smells. So kind of think about your senses as you're putting this together. This bag is actually for my wedding, and it is full of lavender. Our guests threw lavender on us instead of, you know, birdseed or something like that. We used lavender, and it smells so good. It still smells good. I've been married for almost 6 years, and I can still smell it, especially if I crunch it up. And so not only is this like a nice memento of my wedding day, which was a very special day for me, of course, but it also smells really good. And lavender is probably my favorite smell, or at least one of a few of my favorite smells. It's very calming, and it helps me out. So it may inspire me, or it may just make me feel better. Either way, I'm putting it in. So some other ideas are just things that are important to you, or things that kind of invoke a feeling or a memory for you. So this is a rock. I collect rocks. I also collect gemstones. This rock is actually from one of my favorite waterfalls that my husband and I go visit. I chose this rock because it fits so nicely in my hand, and I can remember a beautiful time I had at the waterfall. And so this is just another thing I'm going to put in here. You might think of other sort of mementos or souvenirs that you may have collected along the way. We're just kind of gathering it all up into one neat package here. I have this old key, has a bit of lace on it, and I love old things. I think skeleton keys are beautiful. This one's also pretty rusty. So just looking at this key, it gives me inspiration because I think it's beautiful, and it also reminds me of kind of old abandoned places, and that's the type of thing I love to go visit. Maybe you have a nice card from somebody, something like that, or just also it could just be a pretty picture, or just like a piece of ephemera that you really love. It's so pretty, and tuck that in. So I also have in here a list of things to do to feel inspired. So this is simply, I just wrote it out on an index card. You may want to make it pretty, like we did with the quote cards, make it kind of a collage or something like that. But just think of maybe 10 ways to feel inspired. This list is also kind of the, if I feel blah, I don't feel real happy or good, things I can do. And some of them are as simple as take a deep breath, drink some water, and then it goes on from there. So I have a journal, go for a walk, clean. Cleaning actually is very inspiring for me. Doing the dishes, cleaning my house. If you feel kind of disheveled or overwhelmed, or at least if I do, just cleaning my house makes me feel better. Kind of decluttering, getting rid of some stuff, maybe dusting, that sort of thing. Aromatherapy, so I have some different essential oils. I also have my little lavender bag. Just smelling something nice can make you feel inspired or make you feel better. Create something is on there. Nature, take a nap, or also for me, reading it's inspiring, but it's also calming, and it takes me away from my head for a little bit. I'm not thinking. And when I say read, I typically mean I'm going to read for fun. I mean, I read nonfiction books that are meant for me to learn something, but I also just read for fun, just fiction too. So tuck that in. So those are some ideas. You may think of other things. You may want to put your sketchbook in there if you have a sketchbook. My sketchbook is also kind of like a treasure chest of inspiration for me as well. This is also something I share in the jewelry design workshop, like some of my collages and things, and then how I go from this to jewelry ideas. And this also has my jewelry design ideas. I also have my color wheel in here. You may think of your sketchbook as, you know, your inspiration sketchbook as kind of like a treasure chest of inspiration. I think of it that way. You can't have too much inspiration. You may just want to even keep that in your box as well. I tend to keep mine with me most of the time. And then I just wanted to show you this as well. So this is my jar, and it has a few extra things. So I have this twig I picked up on a walk once. Actually, I also have a key in there and a stone in there. I have some markers in here, and then I have even more. Actually, I have a lot of photos in here. So whatever inspires you, I just encourage you to kind of make a little kit, keep it all together, and however that turns out for you, that's awesome. I'm curious about what kinds of things you make to keep in your inspiration treasure chest if you put one together here. And so leave a comment to let me know if you have other ideas. Actually, some things are still popping in my head, like you might want to keep a candle in there so you could light a candle, or some encouraging words that somebody gave you, your favorite quotes, which we kind of already covered with the quote cards. These are the ones from the blog posts I did in January, but you may have some more quotes that you just really find inspiring. You can do that. Maybe you want to print out some memes from social media that you find inspiring and place them in there, or just collages of anything you find inspiring. So I hope you found that inspiring. I hope you will go and put together your own inspiration treasure chest, and I will talk to you in a week. My jewelry design workshop is available for you to purchase anytime. You can find the link below this video and take it at your own pace. It's a workshop and it has videos and ideas, and you can learn more details over at the link. So have a great and inspired week.